we first tell?
Good afternoon. I'd like to call to order the September 18th, 2019 meeting for the City of Newport News Planning Commission. Chair recognizes Commissioner Wickamp.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Newport News Planning Commission is mandated by state law, and its members are appointed by City Council. Section 15.2-2210 of the Code of Virginia states, in part, that every locality shall create a planning commission in order to promote the orderly development of the locality and its environment. The statutory purpose is to improve the public health, safety, convenience, and welfare of the citizens, and to plan the future development of the communities. In serving this statutory purpose, the Commission invites the comments at the public hearing of its interested citizens of matters before it and welcomes your presence. Mr. Chairman, I move we adopt the agenda before us.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that we adopt the agenda before us. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We'll now have our invocation by me. Dear Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this gathering. We thank you for this great city. We thank you for this board and the charges that you have commissioned before us. And so we thank you for our team that leads us, and we thank you for all of us working together. We also thank you for the lives and the change and the growth of this city. And we thank you for our minds as we collaborate and cooperate together and to make this city a best place to live, work, and play. In his name, amen. We'll now have our Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Gross. So let's all stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I've trusted all the commissioners had the opportunity to review the minutes from September 4th public hearing. If there are no corrections, additions, deletions, then the minutes will stand as printed. Thank you, commissioners. I will now move to the public hearing portion of our meeting. Our first item is SE 2019-002, presented by Saul. Thanks.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
So we have application SE 2019-0002. Ruth M. White is the owner and the applicant, and the application is for the reduction of the required transitional buffer area from 30 feet to 1 foot for a length of 100 feet and 8 feet for the remaining 110 feet along the eastern property line. The property is located at 10 Sweetbriar Drive. North of the property are CNU maintenance facilities on property zone C1 retail commercial. East, we have a single-family home on property zone R3 single-family dwelling. South, there is a vacant structure zone C1 retail commercial. And west, we have CNU facilities on property zone C1 retail commercial. The property has been zoned C1 retail commercial since the citywide comprehensive rezoning became effective August 1st, 1997. Section 45-2802E of the zoning ordinance requires a 30-foot transitional buffer area between commercial uses and any single-family dwelling district. The applicant proposes to establish a dental office which requires 16 parking spaces, which necessitates the construction of a parking area at the rear of the property. Therefore, a reduction of the required transitional buffer area is proposed along the east property line. The existing development predates the buffer requirement and currently encroaches in the buffer for approximately 100 feet, where the reduction is requested to be 1 foot. The remaining 110 feet will retain 8 feet of the buffer to allow for the installation of a row of evergreen shrubs. Section 453204 of the zoning ordinance states that the Board of Zoning Appeals shall authorize as a special exception the use and/or reduction of any buffer area for uses associated with the higher intensity district and not otherwise permitted within the buffer area, whenever the board finds the buffer area is screened or fenced in a manner that ensures that any authorized concentration of people, cars, noise, or associated activities will not adversely affect any use permitted in the abutting lower intensity district, and the granting of such special exception is A, necessary for the reasonable use of the property. The reduction in the buffer width is necessary to provide an adequate amount of parking to serve the dental office use. These spaces can only be located in the rear of the property. The property has been utilized as a law office since the early 1970s, predating the buffer requirement. Parking for the law office was located in the front yard and within what will become the driveway to the rear parking lot. By relocating the parking lot to the rear, it will enable the office to have a landscape front yard more in keeping with the residential uses to the east of the property. B, the reduction of the transitional buffer area would not be detrimental to the uses in the abutting lower intensity zoning district. The activity of the dental office is limited to typical weekday hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which would not be detrimental to the abutting residential use. Moreover, vehicular traffic into and out of the property will be staggered because patients are seen by appointment. Deliveries will not require large vehicles to access the property. And C, the existing building, any reduction shall not reduce the required number of trees for the remaining buffer area. The applicant will plant and maintain a row of evergreen plants within the remaining transitional buffer area. An opaque fence surrounding the perimeter of the property will be installed. The fence will commence at the eastern property line and be 4 feet in height for the first 25 feet, or what is the front yard setback, and transition to a 6 feet in height fence for the remaining length along the eastern, southern, and western property lines surrounding the parking lot. Additional landscaping in front of the building along Sweetbriar Drive will be installed. In conclusion, the existing building has housed a professional law office since 1973. The property is zoned for commercial uses, and the dental office is a permitted use. Converting the property to a dental office will allow the property to remain active. As condition, it will remain in harmony with and compatible with surrounding properties. While there will be no transitional buffer, evergreen bushes and a fence will be placed at the property line to provide adequate screening between the properties. Hence, it is recommended that Planning Commission recommends approval of special exception SE 2019-0002 for the reduction of the required transitional buffer area from 30 feet to 1 foot for the northern 100 linear feet of the eastern property line and 8 feet for the southern 110 linear feet of the eastern property line, with 7 conditions that include a Class 2 site plan shall be submitted to and reviewed by the Site Plan Review Committee and approved by the Director of Planning. A landscape plan shall be provided, and the material planted shall be maintained in perpetuity. A 4 to 6 foot high fence shall be installed in accordance with the plan. All other standard conditions also apply. All 7 conditions are detailed in the staff report and will be part of the variance approved by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Saul. Any questions for Saul?
Yes,
Yes,
I
Commissioner.
just have a quick question about the fence. It's a privacy fence, and apparently the type of fencing and color and all of that will be at the discretion of the Director of Planning.
Correct.
So we can feel comfortable with that.
I hope so.
I have
Yes.
a question. You said you said a 4 to 6 foot high fence, but on the drawings it says 6 foot high.
Yeah, that is a mistake that will be corrected.
Mistake which way?
It should be 4 and then 6.
And then 6.
The front yard, you cannot have a
Right.
6-foot fence.
Okay, I got you. So it'll transition somewhere?
Probably where the driveway is.
25 feet in.
Okay,
Yes.
and then it'll go to 6. So
Yes.
25. Okay.
25 feet from the driveway. Any other questions? Yes.
I just want to ask about, looking at the drawing, I didn't really see anything for sidewalks. Is that something that's going to be considered since it's commercial?
That is something that will be discussed at site plan.
Okay. And then I also didn't see a trash disposal thing.
Like a
Is
dumpster.
this going to be a
dumpster.
large, how are they going to get the dumpster thing in and out?
Well, technically, that is another site plan requirement. Remember, you're looking at this simply as a reduction of the buffer. However, they will have to deal with trash somehow, some way, and that is something that will come up and be discussed at site plan review.
Okay, because I was just
'Cause they
concerned
have to
about it
meet all the
taking up some of the parking spaces and then
Right.
being able to get it in and out of the driveway.
Yeah.
They probably
back
could fit it at
Extend
the
it.
end of their parking,
up, extend that.
Extend
but they
that.
may not have a dumpster. They may have medical waste, which is taken care of in a totally different way.
Right.
So that's why, again, this is, for this discussion, for the special exception, it's not really something we would bring up, but we would bring it up at site plan, and it would have to be noted on their site plan how they're disposing of trash.
Great, good.
I have one other question. Where, you talked about site lighting, no spillover and all. Where are the poles and how high are they? Or, I mean, where are they on this site?
Again,
It's a secret.
no, it's not a secret. That'll be something that is designed by a lighting design company. It'll go through our requirements for site plan required, and you won't be able to spill onto adjacent properties. The reason it's conditioned is because sometimes the poles may be taller, and if it's not a condition, I can't ask them to make them lower. I can only take what is the minimum standard, whereas if it's conditioned, I can have a little more leeway.
Okay.
Any other questions for clarity? Well, thank you, Saul.
Thank you.
Okay, I will now open the public hearing portion for this public meeting. And we have, excuse me. And we have one card on the matter.
No, you have four.
4 cards on the matter. Thank you. Okay, and we have 4 cards on the matter. Please, when you come to the polling, please give us your name and your address. First card is Mayor Joe Frank, from Mayor Joe Frank.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is one of those cases where I think everything that needs to be said has been said, but not everybody who needs to say it has said it. So here I am. I think Saul did a great job in explaining all the details, and the report, I think, is well-written and clear. So I really don't have anything to add other than to answer any additional questions or provide more detail than you feel like you've already gotten. And so please feel free.
Thank you. Any questions?
Well, we would appreciate your support for this. You know, the fact of the matter is that Mr. White is retiring from the law practice, and so the building's been there, his family's been in the law practice there since, I think, 1972, 73, something like that. And this gives this couple, Doctors Cavani, an opportunity to open a new dental practice and to provide service to the community, and it's near the university. And it'll improve the appearance with really nice landscaping and lighting and parking and fencing, and bring new jobs to the area. They'll have, I think, 16 employees. So that may be wrong. 16 parking places. Same thing. But anyway, so it's going to be an improvement and keep the community going and alive. The tenant next door, the person that lives next door is a tenant, so this will help keep values up and, you know, keep the property active and involved with the community. So I would hope that you would find it in your wisdom to support it, and then we'll go to the Board of Zoning Appeals and get their approval too, I hope. So thank you all very much.
Thank you. We have 3 other matters on this case for questions only, and as our former mayor has said, it is a pretty straightforward, and all that has been said on this matter. Are there any other questions or anything else we need to discuss on this matter?
You should still call their names and ask.
I will still call their names. That I will do. Second card we have is Mr. Willard White.
I had nothing to add. I'm just here to answer any questions. I represent my mom, who currently owns the building, so no questions. I'm fine.
Thank you, sir. Third card we have is Stephen Romeo. Thank you.
Romeo?
Yes.
I am with VHB. I prepared the concept plan, and again, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, sir. Next card is Dr. Mike Konani.
Cody.
She will-
My wife and I are the prospective new owners if we are able to transition our practice over there. So if you have any questions for us, we'd be glad to answer them.
Thank you. Again, I think this is a great adapt reuse for a property here in the city to continue moving our city forward. It's a great opportunity, and we appreciate you doing business here in the city of Newport News. If no questions, I will now close this public meeting, public hearing, and public meeting.
Mr.
Portion.
Chairman, I move that special exception number SE TAC 2019 tax 0002 be approved with conditions as recommended by staff or as amended.
I'll second that.
It has been properly moved and second. Melissa, please call the roll.
No discussion?
Any discussion? More discussion? Sorry.
Okay. Commissioner Maxwell? 4. Commissioner Fox?
4,
Commissioner Whitcamp?
4.
Commissioner Stodgel?
4.
Commissioner Willis?
4.
Commissioner Gross?
4.
Commissioner Simmons?
4.
Motion unanimous, 7-0.
This case will be heard before the zoning appeals on October 15th, 2019. Thank you very much. Thank you. We will now move to the executive secretary report. Ms.
Good
McAllister.
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon again.
I don't have much today. We just have the October 2nd Planning Commission coming up, and we will be reviewing the Denby Work Area Plan and also a conditional use permit for automotive body repair.
do we have a meeting on October 16th?
We do not have any applications at this point, do we?
Okay.
What's the address for the conditional use?
It is 11602 Jefferson Avenue.
11602.
The
And
former
you said that
Charlie
was,
Park.
and you said it was gonna be a what now?
Conditional use permit for body repair.
Okay, good.
It's Charlie Falk.
The former Charlie Park location.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was simple.
Have we received any correspondence about the Denby Work Plan? There's something that I read or saw, and I can't remember who it was from, but it was two brothers concerned about a piece of property with the land use designation changing.
Oh,
Did you get it?
yeah, that was way, oh, shoot. Up by the Wawa, above the Wawa, or is it a Sheets, whatever that, above.
There's a Wawa in
Yeah,
there.
up on that side of the road, but above it.
Did
that
you all
one-
get a copy of it?
No.
What do we-
Was it part of the comment sheet?
It must have been part of a comment sheet.
Okay, if it was part of the comment sheet, what we did is we changed, I think the recommendation was probably for open space.
It was a wooded site
Yeah, it
on
was-
Jefferson.
Yeah, it was probably for open space, green space, and I think we left it the way it was recommended.
Right
Which
by
was
apartment
commercial
complex.
or?
Yeah, the way it's
Yeah.
currently recommended.
Palm and Associates, their property.
That's what I'm assuming.
That was the only one that was termed green space that was
Yeah.
originally commercial or something like that.
In
It's a
front of
wooded
River Muse
property right there on
Apartments.
Jefferson.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
That's
left
right.
it the way it's currently recommended,
You left it commercial?
yes.
Okay.
Good. Glad we got that. Good. Any committee reports? Any unfinished business? Any new business? Meeting adjourned.
All right.